Welcome to the ASP.NET Core Charts control tutorial. In this video, you'll learn how to customize the category axis of Syncfusion ASP.NET Core Charts. I'll also demonstrate how to add a title, customize the label of the category axis, and render an index category axis. Look at this column chart, which displays the sales data for a particular year. The column chart's x-axis has elements like axis labels and range. The category axis in a chart is used to display and categorize data points along the horizontal axis based on distinct categories or groups. Now let me show you how to customize the category axis. First, I open my existing ASP.NET Core application, where I've added the basic code to render the chart with column series. To learn more about integrating the charts control into an ASP.NET Core web application, please check the Getting Started video linked in the card above and the description below. Notice that the x-axis in the list contains categorized data. I need to configure the horizontal axis with category using the primary x-axis property. So I include the eChart primary x-axis tag and set the ValueType property to category. Let me run this application by pressing the F5 key. Look at the chart now. Data is plotted with column series and a categorized x-axis. You can also provide a piece of information about the data plotted in the chart's x and y-axis by adding a title. I set a title to the x-axis by adding the title property in the eChart primary x-axis tag and setting it to month. To set a title for the y-axis, I add the eChart primary y-axis tag and set the title to sales. See, titles are added to the chart's x and y-axes. Notice that the x-axis labels are displayed from January to December. Let me explain how to display custom ranges in the category x-axis. The categorized x-axis labels are displayed based on the index value. That is, the first label index will start with 0 and it will increment to the following labels. If I want to visualize the sales report from June to December, set the minimum and maximum properties in the eChart primary x-axis tag. I set a minimum value of 5, which is the index of June, and a maximum value of 11, which is the index of December. See here, labels in the x-axis are displayed from June to December. I can also customize the interval of labels displayed on the category x-axis. By default, the category axis label index interval is 1. To customize it, I add the interval property and set its value to 2. Check the category x-axis now. The labels are customized based on the provided interval. In a chart, you can place the labels between the ticks or on the ticks using the label placement property. By default, the labels are displayed between the ticks. To show the labels on the ticks, add the label placement property in the eChart primary x-axis tag and set its value to onTicks. Check the category x-axis now. Labels are shown on the ticks. Since the category axis of this chart currently has shorter values, what will happen if I change the labels to larger values? Let's explore by updating the month field in the data source with larger values. Now I'll append the sales year to each month in the data source month field. Notice here the last category x-axis label is only partially visible due to the chart area. I can solve this issue by adding the edge label placement property and setting its value to shift. Now the category x-axis edge label is fully visible. Finally, I will show you how to add an index category axis to render the data points based on the exact index value of the data source. I plan to compare sales prices from the first and second halves of the year to analyze the half-yearly performance. So, I remove the second half of the sales data from the existing data source and define it as another data source. Then add a new column series to visualize the second half of the year with the appropriate name and data source values. Also add the name property to the series 1 and set it to 2023 H1. To demonstrate the usage of an index category axis, I will remove the minimum, maximum, and interval properties. This is how the chart renders with two data sources before enabling the index-based category axis. Now I'll enable the isIndex property in the eChart primary x-axis tag. Check here, sales data for the first and second half of the year is compared using the index category axis. Now let me quickly summarize. I have shown you how to create and customize the category axis in the ASP.NET Core Charts control with a few basic properties. You can download a working example from the GitHub link shared in the description below. You can also see if you're eligible for our community license, which will get you a free license key to use our ASP.NET Core products. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel.